Welcome everybody. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Monique Bryan and I am your success coach, which means not only do I give you the tools and the roadmap to build a beautiful business, but I also help you with those roadblocks that you come up against in your life. Hey, welcome everybody. And today I want to talk about don't let your fear tell you who you are. And for any of you guys who are in Toronto, you know we just finished our event. It was on Wednesday. It was a huge success. It was sold out. It was great. Everybody came out, and that was in collaboration with Make Lemonade and She Does the City here in Toronto. And I had the opportunity to lead an amazing panel discussion and workshop with 40 wonderful women and with a rock star powerhouse panel behind me. And I am so grateful to everybody who came out. I'm so grateful to the panel who volunteered their time to be there. Hey, Car 023, you welcome to the Dirty 30 with myself. Good to see you on. And, you know, in order to put something like that on, it takes there are a lot of moving parts. And, you know, I have a certain standard that I want for things. So I got my hands all up in all of it, right? Like, what's the copy going to be? How are we going to invite? What are we going to have there? We had a great food sponsor, like all of it, I couldn't have asked for a better turnout and a better execution. It was really great. However, and not however because of the event, but however, prior to the event, I was really nervous. Like, I was excited about it, but I was really nervous about it. And I had posted this on Instagram, why I was nervous. I had done a journal entry before the event, because I was like, I had all of these butterflies, and like fear and excitement come from the same place. They're both like that same feeling of like anxiety, like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. So I was like, is this excitement? Is this fear? What's going on? So whenever I get into that space, writing about it helps all the time. It helps every time. So what I wrote was, I used to be nervous about, am I going to be delivering value? Are people going to get what they came for? Is it going to have a good turnout? Are all the pieces going to come together? Are people going to get stuck in traffic? That's what I used to be worried about, ticket sales and like, are we going to get the people and all that? But it was a sold out event. So I'm like, Monique, that can't be it. What's really there for you? And what I realized, I was really nervous just about my energy levels. Like, I haven't put on an event since I was diagnosed, right? Like in a year or 2 years. And I used to put on events before in my previous company with my business partner, and we used to put on big events, with hundreds of people. And now I was like, I don't know if I have the energy to facilitate and be amazing and keep everybody's spirits up and be inspiring all at the same time. Trying to figure out like who's doing what, where, what, and the schedule, and are people getting value and getting feedback and get the questions so I can, make sure that we're giving everybody, good bang for their buck. And I was also really self-conscious about like the hot flashes. Like, I joke about them a lot, guys on here. If you meet me, I'm sure I've had them in your presence. And for anybody who hasn't, and the hot flashes, for any of you guys who don't know, I'm a breast cancer survivor, and from the medication that I'm on, and I will be on for the next 5 years, so the hot flashes are not going anywhere, okay? It causes me to have these hot flashes like every hour I'll have them, and it's, you get really hot and a little bit agitated. Sometimes you feel really sick. And they come out of nowhere, right? So it's like, you think I would get used to it, but not yet. It's only been maybe 6 months. So no, I'm not used to it. I used to get them really bad when I was on chemo, but it's a different type of thing now. So I was like, okay, Monique, you're going to have a hot flash. Just deal with it. That's like reality. You can't do anything about that. And the fact that I'm having hot flashes means the medication is working, which is required for me to be here, right? So I could complain about them all day, but that really wasn't it. It was just like, I don't want to make other people who talk to me uncomfortable because I'm getting really hot and they can tell I'm like burning up, right? Like I start sweating and I'm just like, oh my God. And I'm going to be in front of all of these people. What the hell? So I was like, Monique, you better just come prepared. Okay. So I was like, wear something really lightweight, pack all your ice bottles, all your bottles full of ice, pack your fans, and get going because the event is happening, right? And I never used to have to worry about that stuff before. And if I had let fear of how people are going to think, see, or be around me stop me, I would not have had the event. I would never get out in front of people and put myself on center stage. And as you guys know, as some of you know, like speaking out about living your juicy, delicious business is my mission, right? So it means I'm going to be in front of people. It means I'm going to be on stages. I've locked down some speaking engagements this year already, before the end of this year. So that means I'm going to be having a hot flash in front of people. So it got me thinking just about what today's topic should be about. And it's really about not letting fear be the thing to tell you who you are, right? Because I am not my hot flashes. I am not my cancer that I had. I am me. And even though I would not have replaced me going through that experience for anything in the world because it made me who I am in this moment in time, and I love who I am right now, it changed something for sure in me, and it's had me push through any type of fear or, roadblock that I have, right? Like I tell myself, Monique, remember when you had chemo? This is nothing. Monique, remember when you didn't even want, and it made me think like everyone, fear is the thing that's running the show most of the time, especially if you're an entrepreneur. It gets in your way so much. And we can't let our fear tell us who we are in the world because it will continue to stop us. It will continuously stop us from living out what it is we're supposed to be doing. And it'll prevent us from putting our gift out into the world. Like if you let your fear stop you, you are doing a disservice to the world because they don't get to experience everything that you have to offer. And I was talking to my husband about, like we say when we have kids one day, like my husband is a huge football fanatic. He's like, we've got to put them in football. And I am so deathly afraid to put my children in football because I watch football with him. I've learned a ton over these 10 years with him. I've seen injuries, but I've also seen like a resilience. I like the backstories, right? So that's the girl in me, right? Like I like the backstories of the players. He likes the game. That's what I want, right? So I hear all of these stories and I'm like, man, these people have been through things and they're resilient and they love the game. And that's what puts them through. But I still don't know if I could ever put my kids in such a crazy sport, right? And he said to me, he went through his own, health issues a few years ago. And, his doctors always say to him, like, you have a high tolerance for pain. You've got like this football mentality in your mind, like it's only going one way. He's got like this dead set fast of like, I'm going to get through this. This is how it's going. And he said to me, yes, it's because once you've endured, you know how much you can endure. And I was like, it like hit me in my heart when he said that. I said, say that again for me, honey. And he said, once you've endured, you know how much you can endure. I was like, he's like, that's you. That's me. So once you've been through something, guys, you can go through something, right? So it's like all the things that's ever happened to us, whether it was in our control or not, it's like use that as kind of like a reminder of you've been through stuff. So if you can go through that, you can go through whatever life throws your way. You really, really can. So if that's the case, you can't allow your fear to be the thing to stop you, right? Thank you, Natasha, for coming on. I haven't seen you in a while. Natasha's saying amen. If I'm missing any of your comments, I'm sorry, it's scrolling. Car saying it's so true. Got to tell yourself, just do it despite the feelings you fear. Yes, because really, the only thing stopping you is you, and there is so much you could be doing in the world. If you're not doing it, now, the time is always now. That's what I say. The time is always now. And for any of you guys who are from Toronto, it's like that tragedy that happened last week where, the guy jumped the curb and ran down, people in his path. 10 people lost their life. It like shook me, right? And I haven't talked about it because I don't really, there's some things I don't talk about on my social because I just don't, for whatever reason. But what it drummed up some conversations between me and some friends. It's just like, you don't know when you will not be here. Like, you don't know when your last day is your last day, right? And that's really everything that happens in the world, everything that we're seeing. It's like, guys, hello, you don't know when your last day is your last day. So whatever it is you're doing and spending 8 hours a day doing, it's like, make sure you are loving what you're doing and that you're contributing to to society or to the people in your lives, and you're making somebody else's life better. As Will Smith always says, if you're not making somebody else's life better, you are wasting your time. And I never forgot that. I listen to Will Smith all the time. He is deep, deep, deep. If you guys are not on that, please go watch some YouTube with Will Smith and all of his quotes. He's got a lot of great, great, great one-liners in there. Yes, Jamila's saying just go for it every time. So I'm going to give you a few things that I do because I like to give you some tips to take away. I could come on here and just preach, but I do believe in like actionable steps. So things that you can do when fear starts talking to you, because it's going to talk to you. And guys, as you continue to build something bigger, the fear is just going to keep showing up because you're going into unfamiliar territory, right? Like your brain is always on like, fight or flight mode, like it's biology. So you want to get some tools in place before the fear starts talking to you and telling you what you can't have or what you can't do or how hard it's going to be. So these are some of the things that I do when I start hearing that voice, okay? So the first thing I do is I write out, why should I have it? Why should I do it? Why me? Why am I the one to do this thing? And I talk a lot about, your why. And if anybody was at the workshop, they got my workbook. Awesome. And I'll be talking more about the workbook later and some other juicy tools around that and how some people who weren't there can get access to pieces of it. But why are you the one to have this thing, or why are you to execute on the thing that you want? For me, my why is like, nobody else can tell my story. And it's the same thing with you guys. Nobody else can tell your story or deliver the message, whatever that is, the way you can. So why you? Why are you the one to have it? Do you deserve it? Right? And deserve is a relative term because, some people may think you deserve it, some people don't. But for you, if you've been through something or you've put in the work, it's like, why can't you? Why you? Is it for your family? Is it for your kids? Is it because you're fed up and you've done enough and you'll regret it for the rest of your life? Like, why you? So the first thing I write out is my why. And then the next thing I do is I call a friend. Guys, I am all about surrounding yourself with people who lift you up and avoiding anyone who tears you down. Anyone who doesn't celebrate your dreams, the things that you want in life, get rid of them. Get rid of them. But I always call, I've got like my go-tos, right? So Anjali, I talk about her a lot. She's part of my sister soul triad. I call her, I call Sheena. Those are the two people I call the most when it comes to like, this is the thing I'm trying to build in my business. Like, talk me through this. Like, does this make sense? Does this sound dumb? And no matter what, they are always cheering me on. They've always got my back. They are my cheerleaders. And you need a cheerleader in your life. And if you don't have one, make it your mission to go get one, or join a group or a meetup or a networking organization that has people who do that for you, or recruit your spouse. When in doubt, call your mom or call your dad. Like, the people who brought you into this world usually are cheering you on the most. And if you don't have them, call a sibling, call a cousin. Trust me, we all have that one person who, like, no matter what our cockamamie like idea is, they're like, oh, yeah, go for it. That's the person you call. Okay. Number 3 is watch documentaries on people who have done it. People who are either where you are, like where you want to be, or people who've overcome adversity that is way harder than you have to go through now and have still made it. Those are so inspiring. And there are so many stories of people who have gone through things and have still made it. And, that's one of the reasons why I love football. I never thought I would be the girl to say I love football. Honestly, I am such a girly girl. Like, I am not interested. However, when I met my husband, guys, and women out there, if you're looking to snag your man, get interested in what he's interested in. And my husband is a football fanatic. He knows everything about players, game, stats, all that. And I can't figure all of that out. However, he records the backstories of the players, which I adore. And there's this one player, and I can't remember his name right now, which sucks, who got cancer while he was he was trying out to be, on the football team. And he would go through chemo and inspire all the other kids and people who are going through chemo in his hospital. And he would come to practice with a mask over his face. And now he's beat it and he's playing. And that, like, I was bawling my face off when I watched this. I'm like, if this man, because he loves the game so much, because this is what he was meant to be doing, can do chemo, put a mask on, and go train, Monique, you ain't got nothing to complain about. You better go work, okay? Like, that was so huge. So watch documentaries, go on YouTube, like, whatever it is, stories of people who have overcome, so you can know you have the ability to do it too. You are not less intelligent, less capable than anybody else in this world. So number 4 is ask yourself, what is the worst thing that would happen if you did it? Like, really outline what's the worst case scenario if you go ahead and do the thing you fear. What are the results are you thinking that might happen? Because usually the story we're telling ourselves is 10 times worse than the actuality of what could happen if we pursue something, right? Is it like, I'm going to go take this on, I could lose all of my money. It's like, okay, great. Then what's the worst case? Okay, then I would lose my house. Okay, great. What's the next thing? Okay, then I'd be on the street. Okay, great. What's the next thing? It's like, okay, then I can't do jack. Like, if those are your worst case scenarios, okay, good. Now you know them. Start writing out plans, like contingency plans on what you're going to do if X happens, right? If you put all your money in it, do you have a supportive spouse or partner who can help you through those hard times? Do you need a financial advisor to be there, to be like, hello, your bank account is at $100 now, so you need to go and supplement your income with a part-time job before you go and do this full-time? Hey, Think, Eat, Be Well, welcome. It's like, you want to like write out what are the worst case scenarios, so you know that sometimes, most of the time, they're not that bad. Honestly, what's the worst case scenario? And like, when I'm talking about fear, it could be as small as going live on Instagram. People like have deathly afraid of talking to people and people seeing them and exposing them for what they are. Who cares? Nobody cares. Nobody's even looking. Okay. One person was looking at this, my video once, and then next minute, 10 people were looking at it. I don't freaking know. It's like, whatever it is you're fearing, okay, you can't let that thing stop you. So write down what's the worst case. That's number 4. What's the worst thing that could happen if you go and do it? Hey, welcome, Azetta. Welcome, girl. And then number 5 is, can you live with the regret of not doing it? Usually the regret is the thing that pushes us forward. Like, for me, if I think I'm going to regret it, that alone will have me make a move. So ask yourself, the thing that you're fearing, will you regret not doing it? And I mean, regret it 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, on your deathbed. Will you regret it? If your regrets eat you, they will eat you alive. Okay? No word of a joke. Think of something that you wish you had done and you regret it, and how that still haunts you. Okay? If you're going to regret it, then hands down, you've got to do it. You've got to do it. Okay? So that's number 5. And number 6 is, what would be possible if you succeeded? And I will recap 1 through 3 for everybody, for sure. Thank you. What would be possible if you succeeded? So we always think about what would happen if I failed, right? It's like, you're going to fail. Guys, fail fast. Just fail. So you can learn. You're not going to win anything from like doing it perfect. You're not going to gain anything from doing it perfect the first time all the time, right? It's like, just like the workshop on Wednesday. it was great. The panel discussion was great, but there's a lot of things I would have done differently. But I never would have known that had I not actioned it, right? You're only going to get better from failing. We've got such a big significance around failure and the concept of failure. And what does it mean? Or if you failed in the past and you still feel it and it hurts, it's like, yeah, it's fine. Fail fast and get it out of the way. Yes, thank you. Think, Eat, Be Well for putting that down. Just fail and get it done and learn. Fail and get it done and learn. That's it. Go do it. I don't want to hear nothing else about it, right? So instead of sitting down and asking yourself, what would happen if I failed? Ask yourself, what would happen if you succeeded? Because that's really all that matters. And when you think about it, if you sat down and I was like, so if I had let fear stop me around having hot flashes in front of people, I wouldn't have been putting myself out there as a speaker, getting paid speaking engagements, new opportunities. And I really had to sit down and be like, Monique, is your fear bigger than the regret? And the regret, I can't live with regret. As you guys know, there will be no regrets, period, in my life going forward. And I want that for anybody who comes in contact with me. If I leave you with anything in any conversation, it's the time is always now to do what you were meant to be doing, to do what you want to be doing. If you don't know what you're meant to be doing, then do what you want to be doing. And don't let nobody tell you different, okay? There's so many people who don't have what they want in their life, so they don't want to see it for nobody else either. So even some people you can't even be angry at them because that's just how they are. They don't have a growth set mentality. They haven't done the personal development work. They don't have, encouraging people. And those aren't excuses, right? Because I don't believe anybody needs those excuses, okay? First of all, you can go get your shit together. Get your life, okay? As Tori Torres would say, get your life, okay? The Posh Girls Club. If you guys don't follow Tori, please go follow the Posh Girls Club. I love her. I love her energy. She is all about helping people build their personal brands. I'm shouting her out. Yes. So negative people, do not worry about them. Get them out of your face. And you just sit there and be like, if I succeeded, what would it look like? What is possible if I succeeded? Does that, you'd be making your own hours maybe. Maybe it's like you provide, you can retire your spouse or your partner. Your kids can now see mommy all the time because you're working from home. Like whatever it is for you, whatever success is for you, it's like, what would it look like? What would happen if you succeeded? And I had to have that conversation with myself. I have that conversation. Guys, these are conversations I need to have with myself almost daily. The fear doesn't go anywhere. The conversations of you can't have or you're not good enough, they're not actually going anywhere. They may just get quieter. But you just need to tell them to shut up, take a back seat, and watch me. Okay? That's what you need to tell all those voices in your head. Take a back seat and watch me. I like that. I'm going to use that. Azetta is saying, at our table, I was telling my group about moving past being a perfectionist and not getting things done. 100%. So she's referring to the workshop. We had everyone in breakout sessions in their groups. Perfectionism does not exist, so forget about it, and you cannot grow from perfectionism, okay? Your clients want a good product or a good service. A perfect one doesn't exist. You're going to grow and establish something as you continue to learn, and you only learn from failing and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, right? So those are the 6. I'm going to recap them for everybody, okay? And then we were talking about don't let your fear tell you who you are, okay? Because all of those voices, they're just voices. They've been there since you were a kid. We could get into all of that, but we're not going to. And it doesn't matter because you're an adult now and you cannot let them run the show, period. So when those voices come up, when you are starting to get paralyzed by the fear or I can't have, these are the 6 steps that I do to get me out of that funk and get me moving, get moving. Jamila is saying, fear will always be there. Take it with you on the ride, but you were in the driver's seat. Yes, I love that. Fail and brush yourself off and try again, says Conte Hair. Yes, exactly. That's it. Because guys, this is what life is. It's going to keep smacking you upside the head. Sorry, there is no like smooth ride. It's going to continue to smack you upside the head. Why? Because one of two things are happening. It's either pushing you in the direction you're supposed to be going, or you're growing and expanding so you have more things to deal with. And you knew you needs to show up to handle it. That's what's happening. And it's okay. It's wonderful. This is life. This is actually the game called life. Okay? There is no like smooth sailing. So if you wanted that, the only smooth sailing is in the grave. Sorry. True story. So the 6 steps I take and I advise people to take when fear starts talking to you is 1, write out why you should have it, why you deserve it, why you are the one to deliver this into the world. Okay? Number 2 is tell a friend, get your cheerleader on. Who's your cheerleader in your life? I don't care who they are. I don't care where they're from. If you don't have one, then your only goal is to go find a cheerleader, and you need to cheer someone on to get cheered on. Remember that. People don't just cheer you on unless they're your mom or your dad or a family member. Sometimes we've got, like, my mom will cheer me on. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter what I do. She is my biggest cheerleader forever, okay? And my husband. They're like, rah, rah, rah. Monique, we got you, right? So you want your cheerleader. Number 3 is watch documentaries, film, whatever, YouTube of people who have been in a worse position than you are, but have still overcome adversity and made something of their lives. And you guys, you know there is no lack of this, okay? No lack. You can read a million books. It's like read the book, watch the doc, whatever you need to do. Go get familiar with people who've done it, okay? And then you can stop feeling so bad about yourself and how you can and have and rant, okay? Because I ain't taking on no whining, okay? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, okay? Yes, Conte Harris saying get an accountability partner. Those are like, I am all about that, okay? I have my triad sisters, right? The 3 of us, we get together every bi-weekly. We have a Zoom call and we're like, guys, let's get our life. What's going on? What does everybody need? How do you need to be supported? Accountability buddies are key. Thank you for that. Number 4 is what's the worst thing that could happen if you did it? Ask yourself that. So write out all of the worst case scenarios if you go and do the thing that you fear. Guaranteed the stories you have about it are worse than the actual possible results. Number 5 is can you live with the regret of not doing it? Can you live with the regret? And I don't even mean in that moment, in that month. I'm talking about years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. When you, and I, this is something, Les Brown is one of the people, if you guys don't know Les Brown, he's all over the internet, he's books and seminars and everything. He's a motivational speaker. And I started listening to him when I was in my early 20s. And he had told this story, and I don't know if it's his or he was recapping it, but basically he said, what if something happened and you were laying on your deathbed and what stood around you were all of the dreams that you were meant to put out into the world. And they came to you and were like, we came to you. You were the one who was supposed to write this book. You were the one supposed to help this, to launch this business or whatever. And that didn't happen. And now it's too late, right? Like that sits with me. That sits with me. There's no way in hell I'm going to be on my deathbed having that conversation, right? So can you live with the regret, right? And I'm sorry to get deep about it, but it's true. Like regret is a real, sad, hurtful, painful thing to have in your life. And it will hit you at some point in time. You just get to decide when, okay? Or you don't get to decide when, but the regret is coming. So if you're going to regret it, do it. Do it, fail at it, succeed at it, whatever, but do the thing. And number 6 is ask yourself, what would happen if you were to succeed? Not what happens if I fail? Who cares? What happens if you succeed? Oh my God. Like think about the amazing things that are possible. The dreaming is great. I mean, I'm all about the goals and the deadlines. So anybody who does not have my Juicy Delicious blueprint, it's free on my website. Go join the email list. It'll get mailed into your inbox where you get to outline your perfect day, your perfect work day. Because like this is I would assume the reason you're doing all of this, right? To have your perfect day so you have choice in your day to do whatever the hell you want. And that really is the juice. That's the juice. That's what we're here for. So you have choice every day in whatever it is you want to be doing, period, point final. That's what you want to be doing. So those are the 6 steps. That is what I'm going to leave you guys with on a Friday, because you're going to go into your weekend. For those of you who are at the workshop, you've got this workbook. Guys, do not sleep on this workbook, okay? That is my juice. Those are my 10 steps to building your juicy, delicious business. Do not sleep on it. Go and do it, okay? Because only you can outline what that business looks like, what your life looks like. You need to create it. Otherwise, you are just going to be a victim to your circumstance and everything that happens to you. And that is not a powerful place to be. I am all about empowering women and coming from that place of creation. You've created it this way. Whatever you guys have in your life right now, take on, the argument that you've actually created it this way. This is your life. It is yours. You made it this way. So you would now have the ability to change it. So I will leave this with a Les Brown quote, which is, feel the fear and do it anyways. I don't know if that's his or if he took that and he was quoting someone else, because he quotes a lot of people. It doesn't matter. All that to say, whatever those voices are, whatever they're telling you, tell them to take a back seat because you drive in and they need to stay there. Okay. Oh my God. That's it. That's all. I will see you on Monday at 11. Who knows what I'm going to talk about? What crazy things are we going to get into? However, what I forgot to mention, the most fun thing that's happened in the last 24 hours is, so you guys know I'm going to be speaking at eCode in Atlanta, June 21st. And which is awesome because I've never been to Atlanta. Hot Atlanta. Anyone from Atlanta on here? But for people who cannot come to Atlanta, the Posh Girls Club, Tori Torres, who is running this event, has made a digital virtual ticket available where we will live stream and you can see the event and participate, which is awesome. So I have created a link. It is in my bio. So you can click there. You can buy your virtual ticket and see me live and all of the other speakers and participate in all of the activities. And you can find out more about it over there as well. So I wanted to make sure I put that in there because that's like awesome. And it's like a month or so away. So I know you all can't come to Hot Atlanta with me, but you'll be able to participate because I am loving the way technology works now. Yes. Am I going to love it there? Yes. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Thank everybody for being here. I'm over my time. I told you I would keep you for 30 minutes. So that's it. I love you. Be a cheerleader for somebody this weekend. And if you don't have a cheerleader, go find one. And if not, call your mommy. They've always got your back. Okay, bye guys.